Hi everyone, this is Daniel Eigenman here. Financial planning. I'm sure most of you would have heard about the term financial planning. You may have spoken to a financial planner, you might know someone who has spoken to a financial planner, but financial planning is one of those things that you really want to look at, regardless of how old you are and how much money you have, because it will help you identify your plans, your goals for finance for the rest of your life. What I find is talking to clients is that there's a lot of misconceptions about financial planners. Things like, I'm too young, or I'm too old to talk to financial planners. I don't have enough money to talk to financial planners. What I wanted to do today is to clarify exactly what a good financial planner can do for you, and that's why I invited my colleague, Stephen Sardhina, financial advisor for the Capita Group. Stephen has more than 10 years into financial planning and has a very unique way of going about financial planning. I will be sharing with you some of my own experience, but I wanted to let Stephen tell you exactly what he does and explain to us how important, how useful it is to talk to a good financial planner first. Stephen, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel.
You're welcome.
This is a first for me, so thank you for inviting me
You're
along.
You're doing very well.
Thank you.
Stephen, I want to ask you first about financial planning. As I said, most people would have heard about what financial planning is. What does a financial planner actually do?
Yeah, sure. Look, the focus with our approach here with Capita is what we're looking to do is help you discover your personal and financial goals. So it's not product-based, it's not service-based.
Okay. Yep.
What we want to do is help you discover what your personal and financial goals are and then build a strategy in order for you to reach those goals.
Is that what typically a financial planner would do?
Not necessarily. The industry is moving. There's still a focus around product because that's how financial planners
So when you say
paid.
product, what do you mean by product?
Oh, look, it could be around risk product, it could be around super investment products.
So you're talking about insurance,
Correct.
you're talking about
investment products,
superannuation,
we're talking about super
life
products.
insurance,
Correct.
shares, or...
Correct. But what I do is the conversation is about the person at the other end of the table. It's about what their goals are, what their dreams are, what their personal and financial objectives are from today right through until retirement.
I mean, that's...
And anything in between.
Obviously, when you see a financial planner, you have a first meeting,
Correct.
which is a discovery meeting or fact find meeting, like I do in my business as a mortgage broker.
Yes.
But what I have found is that financial planners have very different ways of going about that first appointment.
Absolutely.
No, you've shared with me exactly how you go about it, and from my own experience, I found that what you do is very unique. Do you want to explain to us what you do in the first meeting?
Absolutely. I don't bring any documents with me.
Okay.
I just bring an A3 sheet of paper, and we map out your objectives and your goals, and we help prioritise those, and we pop them across a time frame. So we put a timeline, and we prioritise what.
So you got the time frame, and you got the priorities.
The priorities.
Okay.
And what we do. The client at the other end of the table will get a notepad. They jot down what their goals and their personal financial objectives are, and we map that. We map that on that map and a time frame, and we build strategies around that in order to help them achieve those goals.
And that would be if there are, if it's a partnership, partners, married or whatever.
Yes.
They can then work out their own priorities.
Absolutely.
And then you can really help. What I really like, and the reason why I invited Stephen here, is I really like the way he's going about it, because really at the end of the day, you want to be clear about what your financial goals are, not just for today, but until retirement and post-retirement.
Absolutely.
I know if you're young, like me, you think it's too early to do anything, but it's not true. As soon as you have a clarity of goals, of objectives, you can put a simple plan into place. I find it, as I said to Stephen before, to me it's really like being in a dark room, and to suddenly turn the lights on and find that, hey, there are a number of doors I can take, but unless I know what my goals are, short-term, medium-term, and long-term, I'm not sure which door to take.
Correct.
And that's what I really liked about what you do, Stephen, is you really sit down and really the first appointment, which by the way is a free appointment.
Yes.
It's an exploratory appointment. It's really finding out exactly what your goals are. And you know and I know that goals are important, but you need a trigger to actually sit down and clarify and concretize, make your goals concrete.
Absolutely.
And that's what I find talking to you. It's not more than an hour. You find out exactly what your goals are, and then you can work with the clients, with the people, on working out what the goals are. And it could be anything that's going to help you achieve the goals. Yeah.
And it's a very simple method. It's done during the initial consultation, and generally, like you say, it's switching the lights on. It's an absolute eye-opener. Many couples that I do work with have never had this discussion before, and it's enlightening for them to understand what the other partner feels about certain situations.
Communication,
and likewise.
That's right.
So it facilitates that communication, and it's done very simply.
Because you know what? Usually the biggest problems within a relationship are financial problems.
Absolutely.
So you can talk about it.
Absolutely.
But it's also not understanding, not knowing what your partner's expectations and goals are. And I see that I've got a family, a wife, kids, and it's always about understanding what their expectations are, and you've got to talk about it. And Stephen provides a very safe environment where you can share all that information. And once you have that information, you decide. It's really up to you what you want to do with it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, like we said, it's obligation free, cost free.
No, that's great. That's really good.
Opportunity for the clients to talk about, and for many, it's the first time they've actually thought about what their goals are in life. And that could be anything. It could be climbing Mount Kosciuszko.
Could be anything.
It could be anything. Saving for the kids' education.
Buying a new car. Buying a house.
And what we do, we plot that on the map, and then we work out from there what resources are available and what we can do from a cash flow, from a tax perspective, in order to help them achieve, from a strategy perspective, to help achieve those goals.
But that's important because, as I said at the beginning, the biggest misconception I see is that financial planning is only for certain people of a certain age, of a certain income level. It's too expensive. I don't have time. It's not for me. That's not true. And what I like about what Stephen does, he makes it really, really, really easy to talk to a expert financial planner to work out exactly what your goals are. Then, strategy-wise, you decide what you want to do. Absolutely. If you want to engage Stephen's services, by all means, but at least you will have turned the lights on and you know exactly where you're going.
I get that feedback a lot, Daniel. So many clients appreciate the opportunity to have that discussion, that conversation. Many of them will walk away and say, look, Steve, we don't want to engage your services for anything further. However, we found that session really valuable. It's crystallised a lot of our thinking, it's crystallised a lot of our thoughts, and it's helped us find a direction. I've done my job.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just share an experience I had with a client about a year ago. The client, fairly young, had been in working for a few years, were doing really, really well, and needed a car to do her job. She was a salesperson. She needed a car to be on the road. Went to see a financial planner because she understood what a financial planner does, and she wanted to map out her strategy. She had a very practical approach to her life and her finances. So she went to see a traditional financial planner, and the financial planner, instead of really taking the time that you really need to understand what her goals were, short-term, medium-term, and long-term, had in mind, bad debt versus good debt. And for him, his job, he thought, was to make sure to avoid bad debt and to focus on a good debt. So the client, he really didn't understand that my client was actually a first home buyer looking to buy a first home. She was lucky enough to have actually saved a big enough deposit to buy a new home. Financial planner thought, hey, you need a car for work, bad debt, car loans, not for you. How about you use your savings to buy a car? So she did. She thought she got the right advice. Unfortunately, when she came to me afterwards, we realized that she didn't have the deposit to buy a house. So we had to wait it was about 8 months for her to be in a position again to buy. See, there are some bad debt and good debt is really, really unique to the client, because bad debt for one person is good enough debt in the short to medium term for another.
Depending on
in
the
her case,
context.
it would have been better to borrow the money, which she could easily afford, to buy the car, have the savings to make the deposit on the house, and then work on a plan to pay off that car loan in 12 to 24 months.
Absolutely.
So really what I'm saying is, take the time, take Stephen's offer and
Yes.
go and see him and have that strategic exploratory initial session
Yes.
and really work out exactly what your plans are. You then decide what you can do.
Oh, look, absolutely. So in your particular case, had that conversation be had with the
Yeah.
client, had we mapped out what their goals, what her goals would have
Yeah.
been in terms of purchasing a car versus a home deposit, a strategy could have been built in order to achieve both, not just one.
And that's
So
the
your
same.
key.
That's the same if you're planning on getting married and you've been able to save some funds. Do you borrow the funds for the wedding? You use your savings. It really depends on the bigger picture. And this is really what you do really well is you put the bigger picture
Absolutely.
on an A3 piece of
Correct.
paper, and that paper is for you to keep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So guys, I hope that was very useful. Stephen, again, thank you very
No,
much for
thank you
coming.
for the
If you've
opportunity.
got any questions about financial planning, understand it is for everybody. You're not too old, you're not too young, you don't earn too little or too much. It's a great opportunity right now. We make it as easy as you can to work out exactly what your goals are. What you do with it, it's up to you. Thanks, God. Until next time, bye.
Thanks, you.
Thanks,
See ya,
bye.
bye.